Hello guys, welcome to a video. In this video, I'm going to brief about Docker Compose, what it is, how you can use it, and some insights about it. I am Alok Guha. I am a technology enthusiast. Docker Compose is a tool for defining and running multi-container Docker applications. With Compose, which uses YML, which is yet another markup language, file to configure your application service. Then with a single command, you can create and start all the services from your configuration. Docker Compose is a client-side tool that allows you to run an application stack with multiple components. I am expecting here that you guys are having some elementary knowledge about Docker, how it works, and how we can build and run a Docker image. So with the Docker Compose, it's a three-step process. First, you need to define your app's environment in a Docker file so it can be reproduced anywhere. Second, you need to define the services or the microservices we can say. You need to define the services that make up your app in a Docker Compose.yml so they all can be run together in an isolated environment. And lastly, run Docker Compose up and Compose will start and run your entire app. Looks simple and organized? Yes, it is. Compose versus Swarm. Some guys get confused about it that are they similar? No, they are not at all. They are not even having some gray area in their Venn diagrams, we can say. They are totally different. Docker Swarm is a clustering and orchestration tool, while Docker Compose is a tool which allows you to run an application stack with multiple components. It's like we are comparing Uber with Skyscanner. It is totally different. So, is this video about the Docker Compose? So let's talk about its advantages. What kind of advantages we get out of it if we use the Docker Compose? So most importantly, we are having one binary to start and manage multiple containers and volumes on a site Docker host. Second advantage, we can have multiple isolated environment on a single host as well, right? I just talked about it, means both points are almost same, but both bullet points may have their different meanings as well. So internally, Docker Compose uses a project name to isolate the environments from each other. You can make use of the you can make use of this project name in the several different contexts. For an example, if you have three types of environment: development, continuous integration, and you have one shared host. So on a dev host, to have the multiple copies of a single environment, because if you want to run a stable copy of each feature branch of a project. However, on a continuous integration server, to keep builds from interfering with each other, you can set the project name to a unique build number. And on a shared host or a dev host, to prevent different projects which may use the same service name from interfering with each other. So you can have multiple isolated environment and the host is same. Let's talk about third point, and I personally like it. It preserve volume data when containers are created. So Compose preserve all the volume used by your services. When a Docker Compose app runs, if it finds any container from previous runs, it copies the volume from the old container to the new container. And this process ensures that any data you have created in volume is not lost. I like it. The fourth point is self-explanatory, I think. Only recreate the containers that have changed. Compose internally caches the configuration used to create a container. So when you restart a service that has not changed, Compose reuses the existing containers. Reusing container means that you can make changes to your environment very quickly. Variables and moving a composition between environment. Compose supports variable in the compose file, right? You can use these compose you can use these compose variables to customize your composition for different environment or different uses. You can even extend a compose file using the extends field or by creating the multiple compose file. If you are having one master compose file, you can extend it into different YML files as per your environments. Looks exciting to me personally. Let's talk about some demo. Let's get our hands dirty in code. So I'm going to demo a mean.js app. Is that how we can Dockerize a mean.js app with Docker and Docker Compose? Please follow the next section. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can leave in comment section here or mail me at aloksguha@gmail.com. I will try my best to revert with answers as early as possible. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Welcome to this demo video where we are going to containerize a mean.js application using Docker and Docker Compose. Let me show you the project structure, what I am having right now. In a folder, I am having a Node.js Express server and a just to do app, which is an Angular 4 client. Let me demo it to you locally. It's my server. I say npm start to my Express server and it's my Angular 4 client. Prior to that, let me start my MongoDB. It is started at 27017. Let me restart my node server as well. Yes, now it is connected to Mongo. I say ngserve as I have generated this Angular client using the Angular CLI. Cool, it's working fine. So let's open the port number 4200. Yes, my to-do app is working. Today's to-do. Yes, it's working fine. Let me remove one to-do. Yes. It is a simple to-do app. And the purpose of this app is to demonstrate you guys that how we can use the Compose app. Let me show you. So let's start writing the Docker Compose file. Let's stop all those services what we have started locally. Yes, now we are in good shape. I'm adding a new file, write docker compose.yml. Okay, and in that file, how we write a typical YAML file in that tab means just a new child. Let's first of all we need to define its version. So where from we can get the version? Let's open the terminal. Say that which Docker version we have. So I am having 17.09.9.0, sorry, And there is a page you will find on official site of Docker, which is called as compatibility matrix. So you will see here, see, so there is a compatibility matrix. So here you will see that 17.09.0 plus need to use the compose file format as 3.4. So we will use 3.3. 3.3. Now we will define the services. First of all, we will define a MongoDB service here, which is our persistent layer. So I say to do MongoDB, okay? Because if I'm not having its local copy here and I would like to pull it from the Docker registry and use it, so I use the tag as image. Image, which image? Mongo. Then I need to define the ports. So I want to use 27017, which is default port of Mongo. 27017 here as well. I would like to expose the same port outside to my local machine. Let's define the second service, which is to do express server, and I want to build it from my source code which are inside the folder server. So I say build server. The default port of express is 3000. Let's expose the same port outside. Then I want to link that particular server with my database, which I already defined. So I use the attribute links and define my to do MongoDB here. Quite simple, right? Let's define my last microservice, which is to do Angular 4 client. I want to build it from my source code. Where from? From to do app. Ports. Let's expose the default port. What is 4200 outside as well. That's it. I think we are pretty much done here. Save it. Now we'll show you the Docker files of every microservice which I have already defined. Let's have a look to Docker file of the server. So I'm expecting you guys are having some elementary knowledge about Docker and Docker file, how we write it. So I won't go into that. So from base image node 8, I am creating a Docker image. I am making a work directory which is user source app. I am declaring it as work directory. Then I am copying package.json to the work directory. At the line number 5, I am running the npm install. Line number 6, I am copying all those contents to the work directory. Line number 7, I am exposing the port 3000. And the line number 8, you can see I am running the command npm install. Same, almost same script I have for my client. So you see it here, right? I will just go through the line numbers. The line number 1, I'm taking the base image node 8. I'm making a work directory. I'm declaring it as work directory. Line number 4, I'm copying package.json to the app to the work directory. At line number 5, I'm running npm install. At 6, I am copying all those contents to the work directory. Line number 7, I am exposing the default port, which is 4200. And 8, I am simply running the npm install. One thing I want you guys to notice here, if you go into package.json of my to-do app and just look for the scripts, which is npm start, I have explicitly exposed the host 0.0.0.0, which is default host of a Docker container. We also need to make changes into the DB URLs. So let's go to Docker Compose and copy the name of the service, which is to do hyphen mongo hyphen db, and let's change it here. I hope you can see my screen. I am copying the local Docker container DB URL and will connect to it. That's it. I think after this step, we are done. Now let's compose all these Docker files. So I just need to say Docker compose up. You can see it has started building the files and the client as well. You can see these logs coming from respective microservices, the names which we have specified there. So we pack compiled successfully and we have exposed it to port number 4200. Let's open it, although it's the old one. Let's open the new port. Yes, I can see my app, and I can see this app from deployed artifact in my Docker container. Let's add some to do in Docker. Yes, it's working. To do in Docker container. Yes, mark it, delete it. Yes, it's working fine. So guys, I'm going to put these source code in a Git repo, and you can simply refer it from there. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comment sections here, or you can mail me at alokestuha@gmail.com. I will try my best to answer you all as early as possible. Thanks a lot for watching this video.